In this video, I'm going to talk on indifference curve analysis. Indifference curve analysis, in fact, it's the most difficult chapter in the entire consumer behavior. I will make all the attempt to make it easy. Now, when we have done about utility analysis, I said that there are two kinds. Uh, there are two approaches in the utility analysis, and one is the ordinal approach and another is cardinal approach. Law of diminishing marginal utility and law of equimarginal utility come in the cardinal approach. In cardinal approach, we assume that utility can be measured in numbers. In ordinal approach, utility cannot be measured in numbers, but we rank utility. We say that the so and so combination of commodities gives me equal satisfaction, or I am indifferent among a so and so combination of commodities, or so and so combination I prefer. It gives me more satisfaction, and so on. So, this is more realistic indifference curve analysis. It is based on certain assumptions. The first one, rational consumer. So we have ordinal utility and it is non-satiety. That is the there is diminishing marginal rate of substitution. We will talk on this later, of course, with the table and the diagram. Consistency. This implies that if a consumer prefers A to B in one period, in the next period he will not prefer B to E, B to A. Like I say that I prefer dosha to idli today, and the next day I will not say that I will prefer idli to dosha. That is, there is consistency in my statements. If I say that I prefer tea to coffee, in the next period, that is the next day, I will not say that I will prefer coffee to tea. So I will not make contrary statements. Next one is transitivity. If a consumer prefers A to B and B to C, then he must prefer A to C. Like if I say that I prefer dosha to idli and I prefer vada to dosha, it means that I prefer vada to idli, right? So there is transitivity. If a consumer prefers A to B and B to C, then he must prefer A to C. Now, what is an indifference curve? Indifference curve is the combination of two commodities which keeps the consumer at the same level of satisfaction. That is, he remains indifferent amongst those combination. So I have the example pears and oranges. A consumer has got 30 pears and 6 oranges at point A, and in order to get one more orange, he is ready to sacrifice 24, he is ready to sacrifice, 6 units of pears so that he will have 24 pears and 7 oranges. Now, why is he ready to sacrifice 6 pears for one orange? Because the oranges are less with him and pears are less, and therefore the utility of pear is more. Now, if we want to increase one more orange, he is ready to sacrifice only 4 oranges, and this goes on. And if we plot all these points on a graph paper, we get an indifference curve. The table is nothing but an indifference schedule. Now, coming to the marginal rate of substitution. Marginal rate of substitution implies the rate at which one good must be added when the other is taken away in order to keep the indifferent between the two combinations. That is, in order to keep the individual at the same level of satisfaction. So, in this table, we find that in order to get one more orange, he is giving up 6 pears. That is 6 unit of pears are taken away in order to get one more unit of orange. This is nothing but marginal rate of substitution. In the next round, he is ready to give up only 4 units in order to remain at the same level of satisfaction. And at point D, for 2 units of oranges, he is ready to give up 6 units of pears. That is, on an average, 3 units of pears per unit of orange. And this goes on. So it means that the rate at which he is substituting pears for oranges goes on diminishing. Initially, it was 6, then it becomes 4, and then it becomes 3, and so on. Now, diagrammatically, we see that from 30, he is giving up 4 units, that is coming to 26, in order to get one more extra unit of commodity X. From 6 to 7 he is coming. Here, from 30 to 26. So how much is the MRS? MRS is 4 unit. If we come down over here, in order to get one extra unit of X, he is ready to sacrifice only 1 unit of Y. So MRS is equal to 1 here. What does it imply? It implies that the marginal rate of substitution is diminishing. Now, if we have a set of indifference curves, it becomes indifference map. That is, we will have one indifference curve over the other. One over the other, I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5. This is nothing but an indifference map. Properties of indifference curves. They are negatively sloped, that is downward sloping, and this implies that, yeah, in order to get something more, you have to sacrifice something else. You cannot get more of both. In order that the person remains at the same level of satisfaction, you have to give up something in order to get something. Then higher indifference curve represents higher level of satisfaction. At higher indifference curve, you are getting more of both, and therefore it represents higher level of satisfaction. So you are getting more of pears as well as more of oranges. That is both the goods, X and Y. So you get higher level of satisfaction. Another feature is indifference curves are convex to the origin. Now, because of this feature, we have diminishing marginal rate of substitution. In order to get earlier one extra unit of orange, consumer was ready to sacrifice 6 units of pears, and this goes on declining. And that is the reason indifference curves we get are convex to the origin. Its shape comes because of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Consumers are rational, they prefer more to less. And the last one is indifference curves cannot intersect each other. That is, they do not cross. If they cross, what happens? You can see in this diagram, there is a common point B. We have seen in the features that higher indifference curve represents higher level of satisfaction. Now at point B, if it is on I1, it is lower level of satisfaction, I2, higher level of satisfaction. This is not possible. And therefore, indifference curves do not intersect with each other. Budget constraint, I will cover it in the next video. If you have any doubts, any comments, please write down in the chat window.